The world watched as two economic giants clashed. The US-China trade war was not just a series of economic skirmishes, it was a battle for global supremacy. In 2018, the US and China embarked on a trade war. This conflict was marked by a series of tit-for-tat tariffs and aggressive trade policies. This conflict sent shockwaves throughout the global economy. Financial markets around the world experienced unprecedented volatility, with stock prices swinging wildly in response to the latest developments. It raised tariffs and disrupted trade flows. The imposition of tariffs on a wide range of goods created bottlenecks in supply chains and increased costs for businesses. The effects were felt far and wide, impacting businesses and consumers alike. From factory workers in Asia to shoppers in America, the repercussions of the trade war were deeply felt. This trade war marked a turning point in international relations. It forced countries around the world to reconsider their trade policies and alliances. The US, under the leadership of President Donald Trump, aimed to reduce its trade deficit with China. The administration believed that China had been taking advantage of the US for years through unfair trade practices. The US imposed tariffs on billions of dollars worth of Chinese goods. These tariffs targeted a wide range of products, from electronics to clothing, in an effort to pressure China into changing its trade policies. China retaliated with its own tariffs on US products. Beijing's response was swift and targeted, aiming to hit key American industries such as agriculture and manufacturing. This back-and-forth escalation created uncertainty and volatility in global markets. Investors were left scrambling to make sense of the rapidly changing landscape, leading to significant market fluctuations. The trade war also highlighted the growing economic rivalry between the two superpowers. It became clear that this was not just about trade, but about who would lead the global economy in the 21st century. Small businesses, in particular, struggled to cope with the increased costs and supply chain disruptions. Many had to make difficult decisions such as raising prices or cutting staff to stay afloat. Economists debated the long-term impact of the trade war. Some argued that it would lead to a more balanced global trade system, while others warned of lasting damage to international economic relations. As the trade war dragged on, international efforts to mediate and find a resolution intensified. Trade conferences and summits became battlegrounds for negotiation and diplomacy. Despite the tensions, both countries continued to innovate and push forward in key industries such as technology and manufacturing. The competition spurred advancements that would shape the future of global trade. Public opinion was divided, with some supporting the tough stance on China, while others called for a more collaborative approach. Protests and rallies highlighted the deep divisions within societies on how to handle the trade relationship. The US-China trade war was a complex and multifaceted conflict that reshaped the global economic landscape. Its legacy will be felt for years to come as nations navigate the new realities of international trade. The trade war was rooted in several factors, each contributing to the escalating tensions between the two economic giants. The US accused China of engaging in unfair trade practices that undermined the principles of free and fair trade. These accusations included the theft of intellectual property, where American companies claimed that their innovations were being copied without permission. Additionally, there were concerns about forced technology transfers, where US firms operating in China were allegedly compelled to share their technological advancements. The US also sought to protect its domestic industries from what it perceived as unfair competition. American manufacturers, particularly in sectors like steel and aluminum, felt they were being undercut by cheaper Chinese imports, leading to job losses and factory closures. The Trump administration believed that imposing tariffs on Chinese goods would force China to make concessions and address these grievances. The tariffs were seen as a tool to level the playing field and protect American jobs. China, for its part, defended its trade practices, arguing that it had adhered to international trade rules and that its economic policies were legitimate. China pointed to its compliance with World Trade Organization regulations and international trade agreements, asserting that it was being unfairly targeted by the US. From China's perspective, the trade war was seen as an attempt by the US to contain its economic rise and maintain global dominance. The Chinese government viewed the tariffs and trade restrictions as a strategic move to hinder its growth. The trade war quickly became a major point of contention in US-China relations, affecting not only the two countries involved, but also the global economy. As tariffs were imposed and retaliatory measures were taken, businesses and consumers around the world felt the impact. The ongoing negotiations and fluctuating policies created an atmosphere of uncertainty, influencing markets and international trade dynamics. The trade war had significant implications for the global economy. The tariffs disrupted global supply chains, businesses faced higher costs and uncertainty. The International Monetary Fund, or IMF, warned that the trade war could lead to a slowdown in global economic growth. The trade war also fueled protectionist sentiments worldwide. Other countries were caught in the crossfire. They faced pressure to choose sides between the US and China. The trade war highlighted the interconnectedness of the global economy and the risks of protectionism. India, a major emerging economy, was not immune to the effects of the US-China trade war. India has strong trade ties with both the US and China. The trade war created both challenges and opportunities for India. On the one hand, the trade war disrupted global supply chains that impacted Indian businesses. The slowdown in global trade also affected Indian exports. On the other hand, the trade war created opportunities for India to attract foreign investment and boost its own manufacturing sector. Section 5. A silver lining: opportunities for India. The trade war prompted multinational companies to diversify their supply chains away from China. India, with its large and increasingly skilled workforce, emerged as a potential beneficiary. The Indian government launched initiatives to attract foreign investment. India aimed to position itself as an alternative manufacturing hub. The trade war also created opportunities for India to increase its exports to markets where Chinese goods faced tariffs. Section 6. Manufacturing's move towards India. India's manufacturing sector saw a surge in interest from foreign companies. Companies in sectors such as electronics, textiles, and automobiles explored setting up manufacturing facilities in India. The Indian government offered incentives to attract these investments. India aimed to become a global manufacturing powerhouse. The shift of manufacturing away from China presented India with a significant opportunity to boost its economy and create jobs. Section 7. India's exports: a chance for growth. The US-China trade war also created opportunities for India to increase its exports. As Chinese goods faced tariffs in the US market, Indian exporters saw a chance to fill the gap. India sought to boost exports in sectors such as textiles, pharmaceuticals, and agricultural products. However, India also faced challenges in increasing its exports. These included infrastructure bottlenecks, bureaucratic hurdles, and competition from other countries. Section 8. India on the world stage: strategic implications. The US-China trade war had broader strategic implications for India. The trade war highlighted the growing rivalry between the US and China. India, as a major power in the Indo-Pacific region, faced pressure to navigate this rivalry carefully. India sought to maintain strong relationships with both the US and China while safeguarding its own interests. The trade war underscored the importance of India's strategic partnerships and its role in the evolving global order. Section 9. Navigating the future: challenges and opportunities for India. The US-China trade war presented India with both challenges and opportunities. As the two largest economies in the world clashed, global trade dynamics shifted, creating a ripple effect that reached Indian shores. This geopolitical tension disrupted supply chains and created volatility in global markets, impacting India's trade and economic stability. India faced the task of mitigating the negative impacts of the trade war on its economy. The immediate challenge was to manage the disruptions in trade flows and ensure that Indian industries, particularly those dependent on imports from China, could continue to operate smoothly. This required swift policy responses and strategic adjustments to maintain economic stability. At the same time, India had a chance to leverage the opportunities created by the trade war to boost its own growth and global standing. With companies looking to diversify their supply chains away from China, India positioned itself as an attractive alternative for manufacturing and investment. This was a golden opportunity for India to enhance its industrial capabilities and attract foreign direct investment. India's success in navigating these challenges and opportunities will depend on its ability to implement sound economic policies, attract foreign investment, and strengthen its position in global supply chains. The government must focus on creating a conducive business environment, improving infrastructure, and fostering innovation to make India a global manufacturing hub. the trade war served as a reminder of the importance of economic resilience and strategic autonomy in an increasingly uncertain world. For India, this means not only responding to immediate challenges but also building long-term capabilities to withstand future shocks. By investing in technology, education, and sustainable development, India can ensure that it remains competitive and resilient in the face of global uncertainties. Ultimately, the path forward for India involves a balanced approach that addresses short-term challenges while laying the groundwork for sustainable growth. By capitalizing on the opportunities presented by global shifts and fostering a resilient economy, India can navigate the complexities of the future and emerge stronger on the global stage.